Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking again about Streets of Rage 4. And this time I'm going to be talking about the Adam Hunter reveal trailer. And yes, I did see it when it was initially revealed, but I didn't have the time to sit down and actually talk about it the way I wanted to. I mean, it's only like a 45-second trailer. It's short, sweet, to the point. And first things first, I'm very happy that they are putting Adam back in Streets of Rage as a playable character. Even more happy because he's in the game with a family member, which is something people have been clamoring for a long time, even though it's not the Adam and Skate combination that everybody wanted. But then again, potentially Skate still could be another character revealed, because there's supposed to be at least 4 more characters revealed, if I remember correctly. That stated, I'm very happy with what they have done with the character. Like, his design wise, I mean, his outfit looks a little Miami Vice to me, but still, he's in the game. He's definitely the current powerhouse character based on how he attacks and moves, because when you compare him to Axel, and I've said this for years, if we were to break down the characters based on their strength, Adam is clearly far stronger than Axel is. Axel is the faster of the two characters, and that still rings true in Streets of Rage 4. And people didn't, like, a lot of people didn't understand when I made that discussion when we talked about Streets of Rage, at least those who knew what Streets of Rage was. But when you look at it, Adam is the Ryu and Axel is the Ken. And I make that comparison because Axel could be the more aggressive rushdown character, where Adam is the more stable, strong character that's good for punishing you for making mistakes against him. If they were in fighting games, they're in a beat 'em up, which you can add those same concepts to beat 'em ups with these characters. That's why if you pay attention to how I play with the two characters in like Streets of Rage Remake, when you see me do those videos, I play with Axel far more aggressively than I play with Adam. With Adam, I take more time to try to draw characters to me, even though it's a beat 'em up and you do have to chase them down. I take more time to get my enemies to come towards me with Adam because he's better for it. Axel's better for rushing characters down. That's the same comparison that can be made for Ken and Ryu. Ken is better for the rush down. Ryu is better for stably standing off against an opponent and punishing them. He can do the rush down and Ken can do the defensive game, but how their styles work, even though those two characters use the same fighting styles, they use different variants of it. And Ken is definitely better for the rush down than Ryu is because of how quick his attacks are in comparison. Now that I've got that little analysis nugget out the way, there's 2 things that I'd really like to point out, and I said this immediately when I saw the video, and there was another detail that I didn't pick up on until after rewatching it, but they gave Adam Ryu's Super Tatsumaki as his standing special move, like where he stands still and does his special. He has Ryu's Super Tatsumaki, and the reason I say that, and I will show it on screen, is because it stays in place. And he does it in place and knocks people away from him. And it kind of looks like he also sucks them in a little bit and then knocks them out. That's how Ryu's Super Tatsumaki works. And they gave him Terry's power geyser. So y'all took from Capcom's main fighting character, and y'all took from SNK's main fighting character. I'm like, man, y'all knew what y'all was doing, or .mu, y'all knew what y'all was doing. One of y'all knew that y'all what y'all were doing, and that kind of makes me want to see a fighting game with Adam in it. So I'm like, Sega, I better get on that Virtual Fighter. What, Virtual Fighter 6 or 7? Would it be 7 at this point? I don't even remember. Either way, next Virtual Fighter, Adam needs to be in it. Like I've said this multiple times. That aside, the reason I say it's Ryu's Tatsumaki and not Ken's Tatsumaki is, again, because it's stable and it's in place. Whereas Ken's Tatsumaki is more aggressive and comes at you. Like at least Ryu's Super Tatsumaki is definitely one that pulls you in. And this is another clue to Ken and Ryu, like Adam being a Ryu of the relationship and Axel being the Ken, because when when Axel was potentially supposed to have the Tatsumaki in Streets of Rage 2, he was going to do it going forward aggressively, coming at you with it. That's my whole point for the comparison between the two characters. They have, like, you can look at it as they have a very similar level of potential, but they have different ways about going about how they attack. That's really it. But there's also a little tidbit that comes from Streets of Rage Remake, and I didn't notice it the first time I watched the trailer, but Adam has that double kick, which he has the special for in Streets of Rage Remake. That's the fan game. So that, to me, tells me that somebody from .mu was a fan of Streets of Rage Remake, and they incorporated that into the game. I mean, you can look at it. I will show it to you on the screen. You can look at it, and you can look at the fact that I'm going to show that attack from Adam on the screen. It's going to be there for the comparison. And I'm like, I noticed that little nod. So Sega, all those years ago when Bomber Games was trying to pitch to you to do Streets of Rage Remake, and you guys kept denying him and even put the cease and desist out on him, how does it feel to know that part of the game that you are now developing draws inspiration from the very game that you didn't want to help support, the very fan game you didn't want to help support, even though you were out there helping support all that Sonic stuff? It's like eating crow a little bit, isn't it? But I mean, it's just, to me, that's a nice little nod, and and the developers behind it, I respect that they did that. Like, I just look at the fact that Sega as a whole was unwilling to, like, support the fan game, not put money. Well, they could have put money into it and turned it into a whole big thing if they wanted to, but they didn't. And now that they realize people want beat 'em ups again, they want these games to come back, they want this style of gameplay to resurface. It's like, hey, let's look back at what our fans did and incorporate that into our game. And it happened. But I mean, overall, I like the trailer. It's a good way to show off Adam coming back. Well, you got Axel and Blaze getting beat up, and then you see the thug pull a gun out on Adam's daughter, and he be like, oh, hell nah, son, I can't let that happen. He just drops it out of, like, I like the way they did it. It was a nice lead in to introducing him into the game and showing off that he's still the badass that everybody thought he was. Now, I doubt that they're going to go with the plot line that I've always wanted them to go with Adam taking over as the chief of police and then coming back to help them. I really wish that they would go with that plot point, because it just seems like the natural progression for his particular character. I'm just doubting that that's going to happen. Now, this does leave me with questions about that one girl that had the snake thing that we saw in, like, the original trailer for Streets of Rage 4. What is her part going to be in all this? Because we know Shiva's back. Oh, and I am looking forward to having that one-on-one Adam versus Shiva fight, where Adam gets his payback for Shiva definitely sneaking on her. I'm sorry. When you think about it, if Axel and the crew could go ahead and put Shiva down, I'm doubting that Adam would have been capable of doing it. I have the sneaking suspicion that Shiva snuck our dude. Like, he snuck my boy. He had to have, like, caught him unaware, and that's how he won that fight. Because I don't, as much as I like Shiva, something in me tells me him and Adam in a head-on fight, it wasn't going to be that easy. It was going to be something that he had to struggle to take that man down. I'm not saying he can't beat Adam. I'm just saying the way they had Adam strung up in Streets of Rage 2, it just tells me Shiva snuck him. He was like, oh, nah, we can't have you. Nah, we can't have that. I can't have you two together. It just won't happen. Like, it just won't happen. Because if you think about it, Adam would have been fighting Shiva, and he would have had a way to get to communicate to Adam or Axel or Blaze that he was in a fight. and Axel showed up to fight Shiva with Adam during that first confrontation, oh, they would have stomped a mud hole in that man. So, again, that's to me, that's how the scenario would have worked, and that's why I'm thinking he pulled a sneak on him. You don't have to agree with me, but again, this is just me looking at how everything played out and the actual story of the game, because we don't know exactly how that fight went. But I would love if .mu were to go ahead and say, you know what? When you in a one-on-one scenario with Adam and Shiva, we'll show you what happened in that first fight. Just a little cutscene to show you what happened between them, to prove whether or not Shiva beat him outright or if he snuck up on him. And I'm sorry, my leanings is toward that he snuck up on him, because it makes more sense. Because why would they fight fair? That was the whole point of taking Adam out in the first place. Why fight fair when you can take him out and use him as a hostage? So if you're going to do that, I'm just logically speaking, I'm not going to sit there and put a whole crap ton of effort into fighting you fairly to defeat you and wasting a lot of my energy. If I'm going to kidnap you and use you as bait, oh hell yeah, I'm going to sneak you. Just saying. But but at least that's my own perspective of it. If I could write a story for Streets of Rage, oh gosh, I would love to do that. If I could ever get Sega to let me do that, I would love to write the story for Streets of Rage and like fix the plot points together so that everything matches up. Oh man, that would be a dream come true for me if I could ever get to do that. But that aside, I really did enjoy the trailer. I'm like, yes, I know I'm talking for 11 minutes about it, but I analyzed the video as well as talked about some things around it that I noticed, and I am looking forward to when this game drops, because Adam is going to be the first character I play with, unless he's not a playable option in the beginning. He's going to be the first character I play with. I'm going to play with everybody, but he's going to be my first choice. So it's just how it is, because that's my favorite character from the series. But that all aside, thank you guys very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. And please look out for more Streets of Rage analysis as we learn more stuff about the game. Peace out, everybody.